Part 1. The Last Dragon. Daenerys Targaryen began her life in exile, far away from her home in Westeros. She was the last daughter of the Mad King, Aerys II, who had been overthrown years earlier. For most of her youth, she was controlled by her cruel older brother, Viserys. Viserys was obsessed with reclaiming the Iron Throne and was willing to do anything to get an army. He arranged a marriage between Daenerys and Khal Drogo, a powerful warlord of the Dothraki people. Although Daenerys was initially terrified of the fierce Horse Lord, she had no choice but to accept. At her wedding, she received a magnificent gift: 3 petrified dragon eggs. While everyone else believed they were merely beautiful stones, Daenerys felt a strange connection to them. As she traveled with the Dothraki, she began to find her own strength and confidence. She fell deeply in love with Khal Drogo, and he learned to respect her as his Khaleesi. However, Viserys became increasingly impatient and abusive, threatening Daenerys and her unborn child. Khal Drogo eventually killed Viserys by pouring molten gold over his head, giving him the crown he demanded. Daenerys watched her brother die without flinching, realizing that he was not a true dragon because fire cannot kill a dragon. Part 2. Fire and Blood. Tragedy struck when Khal Drogo was wounded in a duel and the wound became severely infected. Desperate to save him, Daenerys asked a witch named Mirri Moksh Dur to use blood magic. The witch betrayed her, causing the death of Daenerys' unborn son and leaving Drogo in a vegetative state. Realizing her husband was gone forever, Daenerys suffocated him to end his suffering. She constructed a massive funeral pyre for Drogo and placed the 3 dragon eggs upon it. She tied the witch to the pyre and walked into the roaring flames herself. The next morning, her followers found her amidst the ashes, completely unburnt. In her arms were 3 baby dragons, Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. It was a miracle that proved she was truly the mother of dragons. Part 3. The Road Through the Waste. Daenerys led her small, starving khalasar across the Red Waste, a brutal desert. They eventually reached the great city of Qarth, where they hoped to find aid. The leaders of Qarth were initially suspicious, but a merchant named Xaro Khone Daxus vouched for her. Daenerys tried to secure ships to sail to Westeros, but the people of Qarth only wanted her dragons. Her dragons were stolen by the warlocks of Qarth and taken to the House of the Undying. Daenerys entered the magical tower to rescue her children, facing visions of the Iron Throne and her dead husband. She resisted the illusions and commanded her dragons to breathe fire, killing the warlocks. After discovering that Xaro had conspired against her, she locked him in his own vault and took his gold to buy ships. Part 4. Breaker of Chains. Daenerys set sail for Slaver's Bay, determined to acquire an army. In the city of Astapor, she negotiated for the unsullied, elite warrior eunuchs known for their discipline. The slave masters were incredibly cruel and insulted her in Valyrian, assuming she did not understand the language. Daenerys revealed that High Valyrian was her mother tongue and ordered the unsullied to kill the masters. She liberated the soldiers, offering them freedom, and they chose to fight for her voluntarily. Continuing her campaign, she marched to Yunkai and freed the slaves there with the help of the mercenary Daario Naharis. The liberated people lifted her up and called her Missa, which means mother. However, her greatest challenge awaited her in Meereen, the largest of the slaver cities. She conquered the city but soon realized that ruling was far more difficult than conquering. She faced a violent insurgency called the Sons of the Harpy, who murdered her soldiers in the streets. Furthermore, she struggled to control her growing dragons, who were becoming dangerous to the local population. After Drogon killed a child, a heartbroken Daenerys was forced to chain Viserion and Rhaegal in the catacombs. Drogon escaped and disappeared into the wilderness, leaving her vulnerable. Part 5. The Unburnt returns. During an ambush at the fighting pits of Meereen, Daenerys was surrounded by enemies. Just as all hope seemed lost, Drogon returned to save her, breathing fire on the attackers. She climbed onto his back and flew away, leaving the city behind. Drogon landed in the Dothraki Sea, where Daenerys was captured by a new khalasar. They took her to Vaes Dothrak, intending to force her to live with the widows of dead khals. At a meeting of the khals, she mocked their small ambitions and overturned the braziers, setting the temple on fire. While the khals burned to death, Daenerys walked out of the flames unhurt for the second time in her life. The entire Dothraki nation bowed to her, giving her the largest cavalry in the world. She returned to Meereen to find the city under attack by the slave master's fleet. With her dragons and her new army, she destroyed the enemy fleet and established peace. Finally, she appointed Tyrion Lannister as her Hand of the Queen and set sail for Westeros. Part 6. Conquest and Loss. Daenerys arrived at Dragonstone, her ancestral home, ready to reclaim the Iron Throne. She met Jon Snow, the king in the north, who asked for her help against the White Walkers. Although she initially demanded his submission, she eventually agreed to help him mine dragonglass. During a battle against the Lannister army, she unleashed the full power of her dragon, Drogon. It was a terrifying display of power that decimated her enemies and shocked her advisors. Later, she flew north to rescue Jon Snow, who was trapped by the army of the dead. She saved the group, but the Night King killed her dragon Viserion with an ice spear. Devastated by the loss of her child, she pledged to fight the Night King alongside Jon. Jon, seeing her sacrifice, bent the knee and accepted her as his queen. They fell in love, unaware that Jon was actually her nephew, Aegon Targaryen. Part 7. The Long Night. Daenerys brought her armies to Winterfell to fight for the living. She faced suspicion and coldness from the Northerners, particularly Sansa Stark. Just before the battle, Jon revealed his true identity to her. Daenerys was immediately threatened, realizing that Jon had a better claim to the Iron Throne than she did. During the Battle of Winterfell, she fought bravely on Dragonback. She lost her loyal protector, Ser Jorah Mormont, who died defending her. Although the living won the war, Daenerys felt isolated and unloved in the north. She begged Jon to keep his lineage a secret, but he insisted on telling his family. This betrayal pushed her further toward paranoia and anger. Part 8. The Queen of Ashes. Daenerys turned her attention south to King's Landing to defeat Cersei Lannister. However, she suffered more terrible losses. Her second dragon, Rhaegal, was shot out of the sky and killed by the Iron Fleet. Her best friend, Missandei, was captured and executed by Cersei in front of her. Consumed by grief and rage, Daenerys decided that if she could not be loved, she would be feared. When she attacked King's Landing, her army quickly destroyed the city's defenses. The city surrendered, and the bells rang to signal peace. But Daenerys, staring at the Red Keep, made a fateful decision. She flew Drogon over the city, burning soldiers and innocent civilians alike. She reduced the city to ash, becoming the very tyrant she had promised to destroy. Part 9. The Tragic End. After the massacre, Daenerys declared victory amidst the ruins. She announced her intention to liberate the entire world, implying endless war. Tyrion Lannister resigned in protest and was arrested for treason. Jon Snow went to the throne room to confront her. He found her admiring the Iron Throne, convinced that she was creating a paradise. She tried to persuade Jon to rule by her side, refusing to show mercy to her enemies. Realizing she would never stop killing, Jon made a heartbreaking choice. He kissed her and stabbed her in the heart, killing the woman he loved to save the realm. Drogon, sensing his mother's death, melted the Iron Throne with his fire. He then gently picked up Daenerys's body and flew away into the sky. Daenerys Targaryen's journey ended in tragedy, a reminder that the pursuit of power can consume even the noblest hearts.